What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the Frosty Palace. It's been a little bit since we did a. What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the Frosty Palace, and this is going to be kind of a test because I'm using a new recording software for vlogging and stuff like that. So we're gonna go ahead and do this one with the new software, see how that looks when it uploads, and then we might go back to the old software. But anyways, this is going to be my major E3 recap, three video series, probably two. I don't know, or yeah, probably two. But anyways, as we all know, E3 went down last week, and there was a bunch of announcements, very nice announcements. Everyone hit it out of the park. For this video in specific, we are going to be covering EA, Bethesda, and Microsoft. And then in the next one, we will do Ubisoft, Sony, and Nintendo. So it'll be two different videos, and let's just kick it off with EA's conference. So it was the first conference of E3. They talked a lot about their sports titles. Mad 17. They announced that FIFA 17 is going to have this big story mode. They really touched on that a lot. They showed a lot of Star Wars stuff. They led off with a second Battlefront in development. Visceral's doing one. Respawn's doing one. And as you know, Respawn's the guys that do Titanfall. And then there's a couple different Star Wars games in development right now that really are going to be pretty cool. At least I hope. If they take what they did with Battlefront and adopt that to the second Battlefront, I don't think it'll be that great because the game's basically dead at this point. They showed off some Mass Effect Andromeda. I've never been a huge Mass Effect player, so I didn't get super excited about it. And I think it looks cool, but I would rather play other things than Mass Effect. They talked a lot about their indie developments. One of the companies announced Fee. I didn't honestly. I didn't look at it too much, but Fee is developed by Zoink. EA is publishing it. It is you control a small animal, and as you do more things, and it's like a stylized mystical world, kind of like Ori and the Blind Forest. There's not much known about it at this point, besides what they talked about at E3. The big heavy hitters out of EA's conference for me were Battlefield 1 and Titanfall 2. Titanfall 2 is going to have its own story mode. What is it? 6 new Titans for multiplayer, their own progression system. The story mode trailer looks really cool. You should all go check it out. The Titan that you play with looks like he's almost sentient in a way, which is awesome because I played a whole lot of Titanfall 1. And then Battlefield 1, returning to World War 1. Finally, someone understands. Sick of going forward every year with these shooter games, these yearly shooter games. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Great. And it's great to refresh and go back to something else. Alternate timeline World War One. Super excited. They showed off some gameplay, destructible environments, huge 64-person battles. It's gonna be amazing. I'm super excited. But Titanfall 2, I think out of everything out of EA's conference, I'm most excited for that, and will probably be what I purchase first out of all of them that were announced with EA. Because I want to get back into the robot and I want to smash things, really bad. Really bad. Good job, EA. You didn't disappoint me this time. The second conference to go off on that Sunday was Bethesda's conference, and this one I was super excited for. There were a couple things that I'm sure everyone were hoping for, and we got a lot. So they announced Quake Champions. to me looks like it's going to be a MOBA in the Quake universe, because that's the name, kind of how the name portrays it. And they're like, oh, we have different characters you play as, you know, blah, 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 blah. And it's probably going to be arena type combat, MOBA-esque, or more closer to maybe an Overwatch clone, because, you know, it's Overwatch. Then they brought up a video with Todd Howard explaining the last 3 bits of Fallout 4 DLC, being the Contraptions DLC, which goes live technically today while I'm filming this. In July, we're getting the Vault Tech Workshop, which you're going to be able to build your own vaults, which, to my understanding, started as a mod and is now being taken and putting as a whole add-on, which is sweet. And then the last bit of DLC is a huge story add-on called Nuka World. The amusement park has been taken over by raiders completely, and that's all I know about it right now. That comes out in August. And then at the end of Todd Howard's little video presentation, he showed off the Skyrim Special Edition. Skyrim remastered for the PC, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, with all the add-on content and mod access as well. For players that have Skyrim already on the PC, with all the DLC packs, you're already going to get the remaster for free. I mean, I know everyone on PC is already, you know, modded it to, it looks better, probably better than what the remaster will look like, because people will put it up to 4K and it just looks gorgeous. Now, something that was semi-expected from me, but I didn't expect it when they showed it, was the new Prey game, which is totally detached from what it was years ago. Looks really cool, looks really nice. Yeah, I mean, I don't know really what else to say about it. It looks interesting. I can't wait to see more about it. They talked about the new Doom DLC. It's alright. Doom's a good game. Nothing I'm going to pay for DLC for. New demon, new multiplayer maps. They talked a lot about, well, not a lot, but they teased a little Bethesda VR, Fallout 4 next year on the Vive, which would be really cool. And then their big one this year was the second Dishonored game. They showed it last year at E3, and now they put the release date on it this October. Collector's Edition showed more about Emily and Corvo and all the good stuff, and it looks really good. I'm going to try to play the first one before the second one comes out, so I can, yeah. But Bethesda was a good conference. We were all crossing our fingers for that next Elder Scrolls announcement. But luckily enough, in an interview after the show, Todd Howard did confirm that they were working on it, though it is a few years off now. But we can wait, right? Right, Bethesda? We can wait. We can wait. Last but certainly not least on this recap, we have Microsoft. And wow, did Microsoft really take it to another level. Not only did they have huge game announcements, but then they had a couple hardware announcements as well. I missed the first bit of the show, but to my understanding, the first bit of the show, they announced the Xbox One S, the 40% smaller HDR graphics, capable of playing Blu-ray and 4K on a 4K TV. And all the graphics are going to be up-res, which are going to look a lot nicer. They're going to run at a solid 60. New streamlined controller. And it starts at $299, which is amazing for that. And it's really exciting to be able to trade up the old one to get the new one. I'm super excited for the graphics and everything. But they showed Gears of War 4 on the Xbox One S. All their stuff they played was on the S. And it looked beautiful. It looked great. I'm not too into competitive Gears of War 4, like multiplayer. I'm in it for the story, and then they announced Horde 3.0 and basically stole the money right out of my wallet. Of course, they talked about some Battlefield 1. Forza Horizon 3 was announced. It has the 4-player seamless drop-in, drop-out co-op. Looks beautiful on the Xbox One S. In Australia, looks amazing. My wife will love that. We have to get that as well. Recore, a game that was announced last year. Nothing more but a trailer, but we did see a little more of that this year. That's not Recore, that's Forza. That's Forza. Okay. whatever. That's messed up. Anyways, looks like an interesting little game. I didn't really read in too much about it, but something that we will get more information on soon. They showed some Final Fantasy 15, a boss fight on the S. It looked really cool. The boss fight was less than satisfactory to me because they didn't really show off a lot with it. They talked about General Rom being in Killer Instinct. Again, not a huge game for me, but it's cool to see that they're bringing in all these guest stars into Killer Instinct. And then they did talk about some indie games as well. A game called Inside by developer Playdead. It looks like it's going to be the same style as Limbo, because they did Limbo. The wife really enjoyed Limbo, so I'm sure when she catches wind of this, she'll be like, oh yeah, let's get it, and she'll play through it. We saw We Happy Few, which the trailer looked really, really looked really good. It comes out in July. It's check out the trailer. It's hard to explain. Almost like a dystopian thing. The guy has to take all these happy pills, but he ends up not doing it, and then he finds out like the reality of things. And I don't know. It looks interesting. The guys from CD Projekt Red came out and announced, which I'm sure none of you are super surprised, but a Gwent card game, which is so awesome, just to add to the plethora of card games that I play now digitally. So that's cool. You can sign up for the beta for that right now. Oh, speaking of that, Bethesda did talk about Elder Scrolls Online and Elder Scrolls Legends. You can sign up for the beta for that as well. Elder Scrolls Online 1 Tamriel, being able, no level restrictions or anything. So that was, it was alright. So I skipped over it. But we saw a Tekken 7 trailer that I believe we've seen before, or it was just extended. Or no, because it was a mix. It was kind of a mix of cinematic and gameplay. It's showing off the S's like power. But that looks really cool. Akuma versus Hayachi. Just having Akuma in that game is cool on its own. I'm not a huge fighter besides like Injustice. So that was cool to see. Dead Rising 4, even though it did get leaked prior to E3, I cannot wait. That comes out this year as well. I played a lot of Dead Rising 3. I beat that. I plan on beating this one and going through it and playing it with my buddies. Man, Microsoft has a lot. We saw Scalebound. We saw a huge giant crab boss battle, which is a tradition at E3, and I hope they planned that accordingly because that was amazing. We saw it announced last year. Haven't seen much on it yet until now. You can check out the trailer for Scalebound online, and it looks really cool. They showed it with the co-op, and it just looked amazing. A better boss battle than the Final Fantasy, in my opinion. A really neat game that they showed off was Sea of Thieves. Looked like you get together with a bunch of buddies trying to find treasure on like the sea, and huge boat combat and all this stuff. Looks really awesome. I'm going to pick that up as well. Man, State of Decay 2 was announced. I never played State of Decay 1. Those 2 now looks a lot better, and I might play it, depending on if the buddies get it or not. And we got treated to a Halo Wars 2 trailer, followed up with the announcement that between the time of E3 and yesterday, it was open beta playable. I tried playing it myself, but it took about 10 minutes to find a match, and by that time I had already canceled out because I didn't have time to wait for it, and I don't have patience for that. They talked about a couple of features they're adding to the Xbox One. The looking for group, the clubs for Xbox One. Looking for group is awesome because I know with Destiny and there's no matchmaking there, you could always use the look for group to find someone. But yeah, the clubs you can join, and then they showed off the design lab, which you can like design whatever controller you want with colors and writing and stuff. It looks really cool. I haven't designed one, or I'd show it to you right here, but it would probably be along the lines of like a bluish with like a light blue and say like Frosty to light on it. Be really cool. With Gears of War 4, they showed off on the topic of controllers, the Gears of War 4 Elite controller. It's real red. It's like modded to look like it. Like, it has this cool scratch on it. I'll show you a picture. We'll just bring up a picture. $200 though. Not something I'm going to be after because I already have an Elite controller and it's amazing. And then to end their show, Microsoft officially announced Project Scorpio, which is the first true 4K capable gaming console. Runs at 6 teraflops of power, which is currently at the same rate comparable to the graphics card I have now, or in that family. It will be capable of running games in 4K if you have a 4K TV. So I guess we'll see when that happens because that'll be beautiful. And then they announced like everything in the Scorpio, the Xbox One, and the Xbox One S is compatible in and within each other forever in the Xbox One family. So that's cool. You don't have to worry about generation gaps at this point because they're all technically the same, just one's a little bit better than the other. The S does come out at the end of August this year, which is really soon, and the Scorpio does not come out till next holiday, so start saving your pennies. That one's going to be a doozy. We're going to call it right now so we can come back in this point in time. Somewhere between $600 and $800 for that system. It can't be anything less than that, with the Xbox One being $500 when it came out, and this one being so much better. I don't know. It's flagship, so we'll see. But yeah, that's going to be it for this recap video. So we covered EA, Bethesda, and Microsoft. There was a lot of big hitters. I know I spoke a little fast. Again, this was kind of testing a new recording software, so the video might not be that great, but I guess we'll see after editing and everything. But next one, this should be up in the next day's show. The next one we're going to cover Ubisoft, Sony, and Nintendo, and those are some exciting ones. I'm really excited to talk about Sony's press conference because they did really well. But if I had to pick one out of the three, I think Microsoft's was the best out of these three. They had a whole lot to announce. I mean, they are the real big hitter there. But those hardware announcements were nice and they were ballsy, and I enjoyed it because they backed it up with games too. So, yeah, good job, Microsoft. Thank you guys for stopping by the Frosty Palace. It is always appreciated, and the support is, thank you very much. I love it so much. And we'll be back next time to cover the second half. Remember, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down. Share, subscribe, comment, talk to me. Find me on Facebook, on Twitter, entertainmentbuddha.com. And as always, you guys have a fantastic evening and good night.